Good morning, children. Now, today we'll start with one more topic of surface chemistry. Yesterday, we were discussing about the catalyst and the type of catalyst. So, one topic was left there, and it is zeolite. It is also a shape selective catalyst. That means it is a type of catalyst. And what are zeolites? Zeolites are aluminosilicates of metals. As you see that metal aluminosilicates are called zeolites. Zeolites are shape selective catalyst because zeolite, as you see that in zeolites there are some water molecules are present in the form of water of hydration, and the zeolite have a honeycomb like structure. When you heat any of the zeolite, this water releases, and as the water releases it leaves pores behind. Okay, so zeolite is a structure after releasing the water in which pores are present, and the size of pores in generally vary in between 260 pm to 740 pm. Now the particular substances which are in between the range of 260 pm to 750 pm, on that particular substances zeolite can work as a catalyst, but the larger size substrate or the smaller ones zeolite cannot work. As the zeolite work on the basis of the size and the shape of the substrate, that's why it is called shape selective catalyst. Zeolites are used in the petrol industry. These are used directly to convert alcohol to the gasoline, and the example is ZSM5. ZSM5 is a sodium zeolite which is used to convert alcohols to hydrocarbons or alcohols to gasoline. So this is one of the type of catalyst which are called shape selective catalyst, because the working of zeolite is based on the shape and the size of the substrate. Now today we'll start with one more very important topic of 12th standard, and these are called colloids. You all are familiar with the term colloid, as you all know about the true solutions, the suspension and the colloids. So today we will start colloids. Normally colloid, we can say it is a state of matter. And if we define the solutions, then solution may be of three types: colloids, true solution and suspension. These are the three types of solutions. And the difference in between these three, we can differentiate them on the basis of their particle size. That is, on the basis of the size of the solute particle. As in the true solution, the size of particle or the diameter of particle is less than 1 nm. While in colloids, the size is in between 1 nm to 1000 nm. For the suspension, this size is more than 1000 nm, greater than 1000 nm. So this is colloids, true solution and suspension on the basis of their particle size. Now colloidal state of matter is a state in which the size of the particle is such that they can pass through the filter paper but cannot pass through animal or vegetable membrane. As you see that true solution can pass through the filter paper as well as animal membrane as well as the vegetable membrane, but the colloids cannot pass through the animal membrane or the vegetable membrane, while the suspension particles cannot pass through the filter paper as well as the animal membranes. So these are the three types of solution. Now as we know that when we make the true solution, then there are two states. One is called solute, another one is called solvent. So for making a colloidal solution or for making a colloid, we have to study two more terms, as solute is replaced by dispersed phase. While the solvent is dispersion medium. It means dispersed phase is the substance distributed in the dispersion medium in the form of colloidal particles. And dispersion medium means the medium in which the substance is dispersed in the form of colloidal particles. That means you can say that dispersion medium is behave like a solvent on which the dispersed phase is distributed in the form of the colloidal particles. So it is called dispersed phase, and here it is dispersion medium. Now we'll come to the next topic, in which we study classification of colloids. We can classify colloid on the basis of dispersion phase and the dispersion medium. So here we'll start with the first classification based upon the physical state of dispersion phase and dispersion medium. And dispersed phase. It means if you are, for example, if the dispersed phase is in the solid form and dispersion medium is also in the solid form, then the name of the sol or the colloid will be solid sol. If you are taking the dispersed phase as in the liquid while the dispersion medium as a solid, then the name of the colloid will be gel. And you all have to make this table from the NCERT in your notebook, and you just learn it, because in the examination the question comes in such a manner that what do you understand by gel? Give one example. So you have to write gel is a colloid in which dispersed phase is liquid while the dispersion medium is solid, and the example is cheese, butter, jellies, etc. So here I just have prepared a table for you, dear children. You please just see it. Now, here are the type of colloidal system on the basis of the dispersion medium and dispersion phase. You see that if the dispersion phase is solid and the medium is also solid, then the name is solid sol. And the example is what? Gem, paints, gem. If you are studying the dispersion phase is solid and the dispersion medium is liquid, then it is called sol. And the example is paint. The dispersed phase is solid, dispersion medium is gas, the name is called aerosol, and the example is smoke. If the dispersion phase is liquid, medium is solid, then gel, and example cheese. Phase is liquid, medium is also liquid, it is called emulsion. Milk. Gas and solid, solid foam. Gas in liquid, foam or froth of soap. So these are the examples. Here are the name of the colloid forms. These are the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium. You all have to make this table in your notebook and you just learn it. Now, some more important type of dispersion medium. If the dispersion medium is water, the sol is called hydrosol or aquasol. If the dispersion medium is alcohol, then it is called alkosol. If the dispersion medium is benzene, then it is called benzosol. If the dispersion medium is gases, then it is called aerosol. So it is the classification based upon the nature of the dispersion medium and the dispersion phase. Now we'll come to the next classification, which is based on nature of interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So what is the next classification? Based upon the interaction between dispersion medium and dispersed phase, and these are of two types. One is called lyophilic colloids. It is also called liquid loving, while the second one is called lyophobic. As you know the term phobia, okay, so it is called liquid hating. When you are making a colloidal sol by taking the dispersion medium as water, so the lyophilic is called hydrophilic and the lyophobic is called hydrophobic, okay. That is, here we will not use it the term like liquid loving or the solvent hating. We will say it simply water hating. And here if I am writing over there hydrophilic, then it will be water loving. Okay. So whenever you are taking a substance like gum, gelatin, starch, which when mixed with a suitable liquid as a dispersion medium directly form the colloidal sol, are called lyophilic. That means whenever you are taking the jam or you are taking some like starch, gelatin, so these substances are easily dissolved in any of the liquid and immediately form a colloidal solution. So it is called what? Liquid loving, or it is called lyophilic. But if you want to make a sol of the metal, then it is not easy to make. And this type of sol are called lyophobic sols, right? So it is based upon the interaction between the dispersion medium and the dispersion phase. If we compare lyophilic and lyophobic, then there are certain points. The first is lyophilic can be easily prepared, but the lyophobic cannot prepare directly, correct? The lyophilic is quite stable and not easily precipitated. And here we will use one more term for the precipitation, which is called coagulation. So in colloids, the meaning of coagulation means precipitation. So lyophilic salts are stable, not easily precipitated, while the lyophobic salt are easily precipitated by the addition of a small amount of electrolyte. Lyophilic salts are highly hydrated, while they are not much hydrated. These salts are reversible nature and these salts are irreversible in nature. These salts are generally formed by the organic substance like starch, gum, proteins, while these substances are generally formed by the inorganic material like metals and their sulfate. So these are the difference between the lyophilic and the lyophobic sol. It is an important question for the board examination. Now we'll come to the third classification, which is based on the type of particles of dispersed phase. So here we'll study the third and the last classification, which is based on particle size of dispersed phase. Okay, so it is of three types. First is called multimolecular. Colloid. Second is called macromolecular colloid. And the third one is called associated colloid. Right. Now what are the multimolecular colloid? When on dispersion of a substance in a dispersion medium, a large number of atoms or a smaller molecule of a substance with diameter less than 1 nm aggregate together to form the colloidal size particles, then it is called multimolecular colloid. Means आप एक ऐसा सब्सटेंस ले रहे हैं जिसके पार्टिकल्स 1 nm से छोटे हैं, and we know that it is the range of the true solution, and these particles aggregated and come to the range of the colloidal, and then they form a colloidal solution, then it is called what? Multimolecular colloid. For example, you can take gold sol or the sulfur sol. Gold sol or sulfur sol as acid particles aggregate to get the range of the colloid, and then they form the multimolecular colloids. Okay, now we'll come to the next, macromolecular colloid. These are the substances having big size molecules, and when they dissolve in the suitable liquid, they immediately form a colloidal solution. These are the macromolecules generally. These are the polymers, for example protein molecule, or you can take an example of cellulose. So these are called macromolecular colloid. Now the one is called, last one is associated colloids. It is a special category of colloidal solution. When they dissolved in a medium at a low concentration, they behave as a strong electrolyte. It is important to notice that in the smaller concentration, in the small amount, they behave as a strong electrolyte. And when you increase the concentration, then they associate or aggregate to form the colloidal range of the particles, and colloidal solution is formed. That means, and the best example for this is, you all have studied already, missile formation. ये term आपके लिए नई नहीं है, आप लोगों ने पढ़ी हुई है class 10th में. And you all know that during the formation of the missile, we take always the concentration of soap higher than CMC, which is called what? Critical missile concentration. And we also know that in the missile, at least 100 molecule of the soap aggregated to form the missile, and then they convert to the colloidal solution. But if the concentration is less, then they behave with a strong electrolyte, means like simply ionize and behave like an ionic solution. Okay, so this is called associated colloid. For this, what is required? The concentration of the electrolyte or the soap or any of the substance which you are taking should be more than CMC, that is critical missile concentration. As well as this type of missile also formed at the above the particular temperature which is called Kraft temperature. Okay, so please keep in your mind, one term is Kraft temperature, above which we can form a colloidal solution, and second is CMC, above which concentration we can form the associated colloids, right? So these are the three types of colloids, and this is the last classification of colloids. If we want to compare all these three, then first, multimolecular are formed by the aggregation of the large number of atoms, and macromolecules, large size polymers, and the associated formed by the aggregation of large number of ions. Their molecular mass are not very high. They have high molecular masses, and generally they also have high molecular masses. Their atoms are held together by the weak van der Waals forces. Due to long chain, the van der Waals forces holding them are comparatively stronger. Higher is the concentration, greater is the van der Waals force of attraction. So these are the three types of colloids. Now on our next turn, we will study about the preparation of colloids. That's all for today. Thank you.